Hello everyone. I'm happy to welcome every viewers here for our new webinar in the Busy Plugin Developer series, the 7th issue already. And today we have Natalia from the Marketplace team with us, and she's going to tell us about the plugin upload and approval process on the JetBrains Marketplace. We will be taking questions during the webinar, and we will run a Q&A at the end of the webinar. Nothing will be lost. So please feel free to answer your questions. And yeah, I guess with that, Natalia, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Jan. Hi, everyone. I'm Natalia, and I have been a part of our marketplace team for a few years now. So I have a solid background in our release and review processes. I am one of the plugin moderators and the person in general who can help you with marketplace-related issues like how to upload a plugin, how to get it approved, how to become a paid plugin, etc. So since we have updated our upload form recently, we believe it would be helpful to walk you through the steps and highlight some new nuances and old ones. So let's take a look at our agenda for today's webinar. We will start with the plugin upload form demonstration. Then we'll have a sneak peek into our approval process, which eventually lead us to discussion about common rejection reasons, so you could avoid them. And we will end with a Q&A session, as Jan already mentioned, so feel free to ask questions at any time. We will address them at the end. Okay, let's start with how to upload a plugin. And for that, I will need to switch to our browser. Okay, so in order to upload a plugin, first you must sign in or sign up if it's your first time on our website. And for those who will be signed up for the first time, you will be asked to accept user and developer agreements. Without them, you won't be able to proceed and upload a plugin. Once you authorize, navigate to your profile name here and select Upload Plugin. Okay, right now, the upload process consists of two sections, of two steps, vendor details and plugin details. Let's start with the first part, vendor details. Who is this vendor? What it all means? Shortly speaking, vendor is an entity that publishes and most importantly represents your plugin on our platform. We implemented these vendor accounts in order to comply with new European regulation for consumer protection rights. And right now, we must associate each plugin with a vendor and ask this vendor to declare whenever they are a professional vendor or not. You might think this is irrelevant or unnecessary for you, but the status, the trader status is mandatory and it applies for everyone, not for plugin developers from Europe only, for every plugin developer. And there are two options here. You can select individual account or organization account. So if you are the only one who's working on this plugin, you should definitely select individual account, which will automatically match your authorization account. As you can see, my name matches the name I'm logged in. Firstly, double check what details you have here, which we automatically fetched. So your name can be some random nickname, which was taken from your email authorization, something like that. So make sure your name is presentable, ideally real. As for other details, they're totally up to you. If you specify the email, it will be available for everyone. And most importantly, you need to declare your status. And for that, check out the documentation we have prepared with our legal team. So it should definitely help you with finding out what is your status here. Okay, let's get back. But if your plugin is developed and managed by several developers, you should definitely create an organization. If you already have any organization created, you will be able to select it here. Otherwise, it will take a few steps right away, right here. In this case, if you have many developers who's working on this plugin, in this way, you will associate your plugin with an organization which has several members, unlike with associating it with one of the members. So even if there are two people who are working on the plugin, you still should create an organization for that and associate your plugin with the organization instead of one particular person. I will select the individual here. This is like my demo plugin, so no need to associate with an organization. And I guess in most cases on our platform, the plugin is managed and developed by one developer. So this is mostly the case here. And the second part, plugin details. First one, quite simple. You select your prepared archive file, which is hopefully built correctly. For example, I used Gradle Task for that. And remember about the maximum size limit, which is 400 megabytes. Okay, next, as for the license. Unfortunately, a lot of developers don't pay attention to this field, select something random, but this is quite important to think and select the appropriate license for you, because this is something that legally protects you and your intellectual property rights, and most importantly sets clear guidelines for others. How can they use your work? How can they distribute your work, etc. I will select MIT license here because I did my research beforehand, which I recommend doing you. Please spend some time, check out what licenses are there and what is the most suitable for you. Because even if you're an open source project, there are so many open source licenses. So it's definitely worth checking them out and find what is the one you need. And since I'm going to publish my plugin under an open source license, I will provide the source code as well, which is essential to uphold the principles of being an open source project. Because if you publish a plugin under open source licenses, it means you are an open source project. Hence, I'm providing the link to my GitHub repository. As for tags, you must select at least one tag and make sure it's relevant to your plugin functionality. We have main categories covered here, so find the most appropriate one. I will select fun stuff simply because my plugin is not quite technically useful. This is literally for fun. Though you will be able to change your tag later on, but still, you need to select the relevant tag right away. Next option is for channel. If you leave the default stable parameter here, it means your plugin will be published publicly and will be available to all JetBrains Marketplace users. However, you can publish to a custom channel, which means that your plugin will be available under specific channel, and these channels, they are treated like a private repositories. So for example, you can use a custom channel for purposes like beta, nightly builds, etc. And it's not only for like initial plugin upload, it is also available for plugin updates. So for example, you can start and upload your initial plugin version under a beta channel. So you could, for example, double check it with your team before making it publicly available. And after that, you upload a new plugin version under a stable channel. But I will keep it stable for now because no need right now for me to do that. But still, be aware of this nice option. and not only for new plugins, for updates as well. And this is quite new feature. You can now add a hidden flag to your plugin, which makes your plugin release silent without making it publicly available until this hidden flag is taken off. This flag will ensure that the plugin will not appear in the marketplace search or the IDE search or any search engines, unlike the custom channel. If you publish a plugin version under custom channel, your plugin still be possible to find in the search engine, unlike with this hidden flag. This is a nice feature if you'd like to be more in control of when your plugin is released. For example, you can upload it with a hidden flag, pass the approval, get the approval, prepare all the marketing stuff, and then once you're ready, release it on your own terms. And this feature is available only for initial upload, not for updates. So yeah, be aware. I'm not going to check it for now. So all the fields are done actually. And I think I can proceed and click upload plugin. And right now you see this progress bar, this our auto checks. And hopefully they won't find any issues. Okay, no issues found. But if you face any auto rejections, no worries. Just pay attention to the error message, try to address them, and then upload it once again. Okay, let's quickly have a look at our plugin page. So the first thing you'll see that this was sent for moderation, and it usually take up to 2 business days, but in most cases it's faster. And if it's been more than 2 days, most likely you missed our email with some things we ask you to address. Definitely worth checking out your spam folder. If you don't see any emails from us within 2 business days, please reach out at marketplace@jetbrains.com. We will review your plugin once again, provide you suggestions, etc. While you're waiting for your plugin review, don't waste your time. Double check on the details you have and provide additional. For example, like you can upload a screenshot, you can work on documentation page, double check that links are available, the description looks properly, how your card preview looks like. Also, you can provide additional details like a backtracker link, documentation. We actually have custom pages which you can use for creating your documentation. Even if it's like a few steps, you still can create a custom page to describe how to install, how to run your plugin, some maybe specific details. No need to create a separate website or something else. It can be in one place. Another important thing that you might notice that there is no option to edit some parameters here, like plugin name, you cannot edit on the web page, description, what's new section. This is because we extract these parameters from the plugin XML file during the upload. So in order to update these parameters, you will need firstly to update them in the plugin XML file, then upload it as a plugin update. Yeah. Okay, I guess we can return back to the presentation to summarize our upload process. So it basically consists of 2 steps: vendor details and plugin details. Vendor details, you can be an individual vendor if you're working alone on your plugin, or you can associate your plugin with an organization if there are several people. And most importantly, don't forget to set your trader status. As for plugin details, they're quite self-explanatory, but still pay attention to the license you're publishing your plugin under. Be aware of an option as custom channels and hidden flag. This is something you might find useful. Okay, And right now, we already uploaded our plugin. Now we can actually discuss how we as a support team review such plugins, what we pay attention to, and especially we wanted to highlight some things that are often missed by plugin developers. And in most cases, these simple things are the main reason for rejection. But first of all, let me provide you like the whole picture of how the whole approval process looks like, because it's not only manual review. It always starts with these auto checks we already saw. When you click upload plugin, we start with our auto checks, which basically check your archive file in real time to evaluate if it meets our criteria. And if it doesn't meet our criteria, like invalid parameters or wrong archive structure or some dependencies issues, etc., it may automatically be rejected or even flagged if we notice some suspicious activity. But if your plugin was successfully uploaded, we are moving to the next step, plugin verifier. Plugin verifier will start to check your plugin once it's uploaded. And plugin verifier basically checks the binary compatibility between IntelliJ-based IDEs and your plugin. But not only binary compatibility, also it checks for API usages, some parameters validity like plugin name, plugin ID, checks if your plugin is dynamic loadable, etc. And ideally, you should run your plugin verifier. You should run your plugin against plugin verifier locally before uploading anything, so you could get the results before spending time on upload, spending time on waiting for the results, spending time on waiting for any emails from our side. You can already check it locally, address the issues that reported, and when you upload the plugin, you already know that there are no issues with my plugin. I'm pretty sure plugin verifier will not find anything, because plugin verifier results, this is something we pay attention to, and your plugin won't be approved if there are compatibility issues, and for new plugins, if you use internal API. Okay, besides the plugin verifier, we still, the real people are still involved in the plugin moderation process. And of course, we aim to add more automation, but for now, we cannot drop it. And this is essential to check manually plugin. And actually, I prepared a plugin for us that we can review all together. Let's switch to the browser web page once again. Let me open the prepared plugin. I will open it in preview mode, so it was more visible for you. And yeah, let's have a look. So this is a new plugin that was sent for moderation, and from the first side, what's the first thing you see? Probably the screenshot. So besides the low quality screenshot, it is not clear what's the functionality of the plugin. What's happening here? I see some custom desktop background. I see for some reason Google Docs tab. I see this pink theme. So it's totally not clear for me, like what should I see from this screenshot. But this is something that users would notice immediately. So the screenshot definitely should be better. It should be in a good quality without any desktop tabs. So it should be just the IDE and with the default theme of IDE. And ideally, the functionality should be clear from the screenshot, what this plugin does. This is like an example of what this plugin does. I would definitely ask to change the screenshots. The next thing you see the logo of the plugin, which is not acceptable because this logo is taken from the plugin template. And this is something we quite often ask to change because you cannot use the icon from the plugin template. Though you, of course, can provide your custom icon, which is, of course, always a nice way because this will make your plugin more noticeable and of course, like it visually more represents your plugin. But if you don't have any custom icon prepared, no worries, that just remove any, upload it without any plugins. It is also acceptable. Just don't use the icon, the logo from the template. Or if you provide your custom logo, make sure it meets the requirements, the size, the format, and of course it should make sense. It should be relevant to your plugin, to a plugin name, etc. Another thing I noticed that the tag framework, which doesn't seem right. This plugin doesn't look like a framework to me, so I would definitely ask to change the tag. Next thing, the plugin name. This plugin name is also not a good choice. Though I'd like to notice that Make Me Coffee is quite unique name. We don't have any other plugins with such name. And we always ask the plugin to be the plugin name to be short, unique, and of course relevant. It should make sense. Like what it should be clear from the plugin name what this plugin does. But the next part, which I don't like at all, your plugin name must not contain words like plugin, IntelliJ, JetBrains, and in general, any other third-party trademarks, because you might potentially violate laws. And so, yeah, don't use any names which you're not sure you have rights to use. And keep it short. Don't use plugin in the plugin name because it's quite clear that this is plugin. And no need to specify the IDs your plugin is compatible with because it will be already there. So yeah, just keep it short, unique, and clear and relevant. Okay, here we can see the vendor profile name, so users will see it as well. This is just a note here. Okay, what next? I will definitely check out the plugin description. And what can I say about this plugin description? First of all, the very first sentence and the very first part of a description must be in English. It is because we use it for a card preview. And it's totally fine to have a description in any other language, but start with the English version. And for example, second chapter can be in any other language you want. Another thing I would mention that there are no punctuation, there are no upper cases. It's not clear where the sentence starts, where the sentence ends. So please pay attention to the grammar, to the formatting, and try to come up with 1-2 at least sentences. So it was clear for users what this plugin does and how to use it. And actually, this is in your interest to provide a good description. This is like your only chance to interest potential user to provide details. So it was clear for user. Oh yeah, I understand how it works. Yeah, I'll try it. But if your description doesn't provide any details, is not very clear, users might think, I don't understand it. Okay, next. So yeah, pay attention to the description. Spend some time. Right now, you have so many tools to check the grammar, to even create a description, and just adjust it to your liking. Okay, another thing, I will definitely check the links, the license link and the source code link. Let's double check what we have here. Okay, the license link leads to our own documentation, which is actually based on true story. And this is not acceptable. You cannot use our documentation link as your license link, even if this documentation page about the end user license agreement. You can use this standard EULA, but you must make changes so it was yours license we stated here. So it cannot be used unless you make the necessary modifications to it. Okay, so the license not acceptable. Source code. Let's check the source code. Source code is presentable or is present but not available. In most cases, the issue is quite simple. This is a private repository and plugin developer forgot or didn't think about it. And we just ask them, oh, you provided the source code link, but it's not publicly available. Please check on that. So it also kind of a rejection. And another thing I see, this is the what's new section, change notes, which is the same as the plugin description. Not right. These are two different fields, plugin description and what's new section. What's new section should contain what was changed in a particular plugin version. And for initial release, you even can simply type initial release, or for initial version, you can leave it empty, but keep it up to date following your next updates, your next plugin versions. And actually, you can use custom pages, which I showed previously, for keeping track of change notes. In that case, it will be much easier for you to keep them up to date. It has better format style, and you provide simply a link here to this custom page, and that's it. Okay, besides that, we will definitely, we need to check out plugin verifier results. They are available only in admin view. This is a user view. That's why I'm switching back to versions tab. And okay, they are still in progress, but I will definitely pay attention to the results of plugin verifier. Plugin developer, once again, they receive them as a separate email, so everyone is aware of these results. And if I see any compatibility issues or usage of internal API, this will be a rejection of approval. Okay, I think I mentioned the most important things about like this overview page. Of course, after if everything meets our requirements on the plugin page, we proceed with plugin installation. But only if we do not have any concerns about how the plugin looks like, and if the plugin doesn't have any compatibility issues. We will proceed and install the plugin locally, test it locally, but I'm not going to dive deep into this part because the workflow highly depends on the plugin type, plugin functionality, etc. So I guess we can return back to the presentation. So yeah, this was mostly about manual review. I wanted to show you some things which are usually missed by developers, but they are the real reason for plugin rejection. And another thing that we have in our like approval and review workflow, auto test. This is new. We haven't publicly announced it, but we recently started to run auto test, which is quite straightforward for now. It simply installs the plugin, starts the IDE, and checks if there are no exceptions, any issues with model dialogues or any other dialogues or tabs, and that the plugin can open a project etc. So we have already started using these auto tests, and if these tests report any issues, we will reach out to the plugin developer and provide the details with the stack trace, etc. And actually, this test is open source. So you can actually also implement it locally, but it won't be very easy. But if you're interested and ready to invest some time into setting up a similar test, so you could, for example, easily check your plugin updates against many IDEs, it would be helpful. So please reach out in the chat or reach out to our support team at marketplace@jetbrains.com. We will help you with setting this locally. Okay, this is about the whole workflow of approval. And let's discuss some common rejection reasons. And actually, I'm mostly mentioned the common reasons, but we also checked and gathered the information from our ticket system. And based on the information we have in our ticket system, what is the reason mostly for plugin rejection? We have the following top 6 reasons. So top 1 reason is the plugin description. Once again, it must start with a short summary of the plugin functionality and must be in English. Pay attention to grammar, pay attention to punctuation, spelling, etc. So it should be presentable, it should be clear for users. Yeah, this is in your interest. Once again, it's your opportunity to make a good impression to users. Top 2 reason is unfortunately compatibility issues, which are reported by plugin verifier. So you could avoid them. You can run it locally before uploading anything on the marketplace. Number 3 is the usage of default logo, as I showed you in the plugin before. Please don't use any icons, any logos at all, or provide your custom. Number 4, source code, which is usually provided but unavailable. For example, it leads to a private repository. Please double check on that. Number 5, plugin name. Once again, it must not contain any words like plugin, JetBrains, IntelliJ, any other IDEs names, or any other third-party trademarks, so you don't violate anything. And number 6, change notes. As I showed you, sometimes people tend to copy paste change notes from the plugin description, or sometimes they use the change notes from the plugin template, which is not acceptable as well. Okay, so let's quickly summarize on how to get approved faster. So first of all, make sure you meet our approval guidelines. Most importantly, the plugin name, plugin logo, screenshots, license link, source code link, description, change notes, everything looks presentable. Once again, I need to highlight how plugin description is important, and this is really the most common reason, and we ask daily to adjust the description. Next thing, check your plugin with plugin verifier locally. This is also important, because if you do it before uploading that, when you upload a plugin, you will be approved much faster. Yeah, just in case, all the links, all the features I mentioned, we will provide the links to our documentation or to articles in the description for this webinar. So no worries, you will be able to find references later. Okay, so I guess right now we can address questions if you have any questions. That's it from my part.
Thank you, Natalia, for your presentation. I hope it was insightful for all our viewers. And yeah, let's start with one question from our viewer on YouTube. It's a bit unrelated to your presentation, but it might be interesting anyway. So the question is it possible, basically, as a Russian citizen to upload paid plugins on the marketplace or not?
Unfortunately, if you're planning to receive your payments to your Russian bank, no, there is no legal way for us, at least. I mean, like for you as well, I guess, because we won't be able to send you payment, and we, as far as I remember, we cannot legally even do that. We cannot send anything to Russian banks or something like that.
Okay, I guess that answered this very clearly. We have another question just coming in. So how do I guess this means how does Marketplace approve or reject plugins for existing archives with similar inline JSON functional? I am sorry, but I don't really understand what that means.
Yeah, maybe they ask if there is something similar already in the IDE. Will we approve it or reject a plugin like that? Yeah, I can start. You can add anything later. We will most likely approve, once again, if your plugin meets all the approval criteria, there are no issues with plugin verifier, etc., etc. We will approve. So there is no such thing like if such functionality already exists in the IDE, we simply reject based on that. No, nothing like that.
Yes, and in fact, we have quite a lot of plugins which have some kind of variation of existing functionality in the IDE, and of course, users are free to install them if they like, for example, this implementation better than the standard functionality of the IDE. And this includes also more complex plugins, for example, for frameworks. You can also find some on the marketplace that basically target the same functionality that is already bundled in the IDE. Okay, thanks for that question. The next question, does the approval process change if I upload a new version of an already approved plugin, or is it the same? That's a good question, actually.
Yeah, good question. I should have highlighted it before, but basically, no, the approval process is the same for a new plugin or for a plugin update.
Yes. So yeah, from a technical perspective, I want to stress again that it is really important to run the plugin verifier locally, as Natalia already mentioned before, to make sure that your next update is compatible with all the recent IDE versions as well, because things can be incompatible. And we know that many plugins don't have a continuous stream of releases, so sometimes they take half a year break and then they decide to make a new release, and then of course by this time new IDE versions are available, and we might have new compatibility issues that you should be aware of, ideally before trying to upload on the marketplace.
Yeah, and sometimes I see cases when like the initial version was approved, but next update contains totally different description or logo or something else, which already do not meet the requirement.
Yeah, exactly. I will show this question, but it is not really related to your talk. So why is undo and redo functionality not provided by default in plugin development? We have an API in the IntelliJ platform that you can use for undo and redo functionality. Please use the plugin development channels, our platform Slack, for example, where you can ask questions like this. The next question, could the guidelines be stricter and require information about plugin entry points? From where is it available? Menus, descriptions and screens are usually very terse and don't say how to use it. I don't think that we have formal guidelines on the marketplace for UI, don't we?
Yeah, we have recommendations, but they're not like a strict rule.
That's true. I can also point, there is there's a separate website which is also linked from the IntelliJ SDK docs about the UI design guidelines for the IntelliJ platform, but it is currently at least more about specific controls and texts in the UI. It does not really specify how to use, for example, menus or where to place menu items, if that is the question. If you are unsure about such things, I would also again recommend to ask in the platform development Slack, because we need to see the concrete example and issue that you're trying to solve.
But I think the question here not about like the plugin or in the IDE, but the plugin in general, that a lot of plugins do not provide enough explanation on how to use it, and description, and the screenshots are not very helpful in their cases. And actually, we wish the description be better, and we, I guess, follow this direction. We always ask to provide better description, to provide better screenshot, but I don't know. I guess we already have quite strict rules, and we always like a bit fight inside our team, like should we make them more stricter or less stricter? Because for many plugin developers, I don't know, for example, creating a unique plugin name, it can be also very challenging, but this is our rule. And I don't know, like when we have like 20 or 30 ChatGPT plugins, it's quite difficult to create a unique name for that. But yeah, I think we still tend to implement more things, and we also are working on updating the even like description window. This is something like early in progress, because like we are wanted to provide some templates so plugin developer could provide more details. We're also thinking about like implementing some spelling checkers or anything else, so the developer could get help right on the plugin page to provide more clear description. But yeah, for now, yeah, we manually ask and provide suggestions. I sometimes provide suggestion like, oh, maybe you could set the following description, or please add something here or there. But yeah, I guess we look at this direction.
Great, yeah. The next question. Will a plugin get approved if we use external APIs in the code for data exchange? And there's a general answer to that. We have no strict rules what your plugin may or may not do in the IDE. But of course, if you transmit data that belongs to the user, you must make it very clear how and why this data is processed. You are required to do this by law in many countries, most certainly in the European Union. Any sensitive data should, of course, also be encrypted and secured properly. And you should make it clear in the description or in the UI of your plugin what is going to be transmitted and why, and also link to some relevant documentation or disclaimers that give all the necessary detailed information to the users should they have any questions about such data transfer.
Yeah, and for that we have a field for privacy policy where you could provide a link to that as well, which is also as probably required by law. Like if you use some data, users' data, you need to have privacy policy or something like that.
Absolutely, yeah. With regards to the manual testing, are plugins tested with regards to the full feature set or just minimum defaults that are enabled? How do you test, Natalia?
It again, it depends on the plugin, because there are a lot of simple plugins, like a theme plugin. It is quite easy to test without involving any other team members. But for some plugins, I might go to totally another team, like IntelliJ team or Rider team, or any other IDE team, if this is something specific. And it's not clear. But of course, some things still can be left untested, especially if, I don't know, if it requires, I don't know what to provide as an example. So yeah, that's why it's hard to provide like one response to every case. So yeah, it highly depends on the plugin and what it does.
Okay, thanks. The next question, could you elaborate on autotests? Provide the link to the source repository. I think you offered that on request, right?
Yeah, we will provide definitely a link to the webinar description later. Also, you can simply reach out to our support team, marketplace@jetbrains.com, and yeah, we will help you with setting up it locally. It's good to see some interest, actually.
Good, yeah. Another question about the auto test. So do all plugins require to pass it? And it seems that some popular plugins, such as the Rust plugin, apparently have some common PSI errors, which I think means that the plugin has some highlighting or functionality issues at runtime. Yeah, I think you already answered that to some degree. The tests really depend on the plugin, and we usually don't test literally everything.
But this is about auto test.
Right, yeah.
We will definitely reach out to the plugin developer before like making a decision, like rejection or approval. And if the developer says, "Oh, this is something like a very known case," I will double check it with the, for example, Rust team, and they say, "Yeah, this is something you can ignore." I will proceed and approve the plugin.
Yes, and I think like most plugins also provide a link to the bug tracker instance on their plugin detail page. You can also access this now from the IDE plugins dialog in the additional information tab for the plugin. And there's also a way to leave reviews, but you should not use them usually to leave bug reports, and only use them in the last resort if you cannot reach out to the plugin author in any other way to notify them about problems with the plugin. And another issue that another way to report issues with plugins is a new button that we added, I think, some months ago. On the bottom of each page, you can use the report plugin button. Maybe you can quickly
maybe
explain
I can
that.
show. Can we? Yeah, 1 second. I will open the preview button. So there is a new thing at the end, report plugin, which is available for everyone on the marketplace. Then they open up your plugin page and they can report your plugin. It seems doesn't work on demo. Yeah, but you will see options like legal issue, technical issue, other issue, and we quite often receive such reports. And if a user reports a technical issue like exception or anything else, I usually forward it to the plugin developer. Or if there is a link to the issue tracker, I usually check if there is something similar already reported. If I don't see a link or if there is no issues like that, I will contact the developer and say, "Hey, the user reported the following." Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So in general, it's always a very good idea to have a bug tracker field
Mhm.
defined in your plugin metadata. And I think most plugins are hosted on GitHub or similar services where you already have a free bug tracker available. So we would really like to encourage everyone to do this.
Yeah.
The next question, how to synchronize plugin settings between different PCs of the user. I think that's more of an end user question. I know that we have several ways of synchronizing settings between different installations using, for example, the JetBrains account. At the moment, I don't remember the exact name of this functionality in the IDE, but there are solutions available for doing this. So please consult the
Yeah.
product documentation or just write an email to support@jetbrains.com and then they can point you to the relevant documentation for that. Another technical question, will it be okay to use some inbuilt methods and utilities which are marked as deprecated? We allow using deprecated API in general. Of course, it is a question that only the plugin author can answer themselves if there is no better replacement API available or if they really must use this deprecated API. If you are unsure, you can always use the platform development Slack instance for questions like this. So just let us know if you're unsure, if there's a better way to do this, or if there's a different approach that you should be using, for example, in a newer platform version where things have been replaced. Usually you will get an answer pretty quickly about these things.
Yeah. And that's why we mark deprecated usages as warnings. They are like highlighted in yellow color, but anything that is highlighted in red color and considered like error, this is definitely a no for approval.
Yes, and there are various annotations that we use also to highlight the status of the API, and the plugin verifier will report all of these in great detail. So you should always familiarize yourself with what they mean. We have a nice page in the SDK docs and the appendix that shows how to find all these issues. You can already highlight them in the IDE directly, or you can run plugin verifier locally to make sure that you have as little as possible of such issues. So Natalia will have less work in the future.
And we will be approved faster.
Yes, which is also nice, side effect. Yeah, so we have some more general questions that we receive from time to time. And it's probably also good to include them in the Q&A right now. So a very common question is, can I somehow make my plugin auto-approved? Can I just bypass all these checks because my plugin has been around for 5 years and you know that it's of good quality?
Yeah, this is a very common question, but unfortunately for now, we cannot do that. We still need to review every plugin update manually and with all other checks, and we need to ensure it continues to meet the approval criteria. And this is simply because we still catch some unacceptable changes, for example, like in the description, in the media section, or some ignored binary compatibility issues or API usages that are not acceptable, etc. So for now, we cannot drop these checks. But of course, we do want to introduce more automated things, so the plugin updates could be reviewed much faster. But still, right now, it usually takes 1 business day. But if you upload anything on weekends, yeah, you will need to wait till Monday. But yeah, for now, we don't have enough automated checks, so we could safely drop all the other manual things we check.
Yeah, makes sense. Sometimes people ask about an update they uploaded some time ago, sometimes even after like a week or two. And what could go wrong if a plugin doesn't get approved for such a long time?
Yeah, in most cases, if your plugin was not approved within 2 business days, it didn't meet the approval criteria, and you most likely missed our email with the details regarding what should be addressed. Check your spam folder once again, or yeah, feel free to reach out. For example, even in Slack, we see sometimes people ask like, "Hey, I uploaded a plugin like a week ago. What's going on?" So yeah, feel free to double check, but still, probably it's in the spam.
Yeah, which happens all too often, right?
Yeah.
Another common question is, especially for people who upload or provide their first plugin to the marketplace, is like, is there some way I can like experiment with marketplace without actually publishing my real plugin? Just, you know, like play around with plugin updates, the automation process, the whole user interface that I have now as a plugin author. So can we offer something?
Yeah. Yes. First of all, there is a demo stand specifically designed for that you can use for test purposes, where you can upload any plugin. I mean, like it can contain crazy names, total, I don't know, funny descriptions and stuff like that. You can test the whole process. Especially, we always recommend using demo stand for developers who are going to release a paid plugin, a paid or freemium plugin, but still, this is something that everyone can use. The only thing that to get access to the demo, you need to reach out to us so we could send you the credentials. But besides that, feel free to use our demo. This is specifically for that, so you could test out the whole process and play with it.
Cool.
But and once again, I should remind about custom channels, which are also like not for testing from like. I mean, it is also like testing it when you release a beta version or alpha version, so it still can be helpful in these cases.
Yes, yeah, but yeah, these are really two different things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And the last common question or situation that we have, like, I have written a plugin, for example, that is used only in my company or only in my team. Can I upload it on Marketplace still, or is there something better maybe?
Yeah, this is definitely not a good choice to upload your like private plugin, which is designed for a specific group of people on the production, because it doesn't make sense. If you upload a plugin on the production environment, it's supposed to be available for everyone. And adding the description like, oh, this is for internal use only, still why it's publicly available. And for that, we will definitely recommend using a private plugin repository. So you will be able to host it separately and provide access only to the group of people you're planning to use this plugin on.
Yeah.
Provide all the links in the description so you could read more about custom repositories. Yeah.
Okay, let me check, but I think we have answered all the questions from our auditory. Oh no, we have one more coming in just right now. So is it allowed to name the repository with IntelliJ plugin as long as the plugin name itself doesn't contain the words on Marketplace?
It's probably plugin XML ID, yeah?
I think with repository, it means the actual source repository, for example, on GitHub.
Like
and for that, it's okay. Yeah. So all the strict rules about naming, they apply really only for the presentation on the JetBrains Marketplace. Whatever you call your things in your code or on your GitHub repository, that is not part of the approval process or the rules that we have on Marketplace. So yes, you can name your GitHub repository my super IntelliJ plugin, as long as you don't use that name for your plugin, as shown to the users on Marketplace.
But actually, recently there was a case where our legal team reached out to me regarding one of our plugins. Because this plugin used wording like IntelliJ and the name of the plugin on their own website. And this was a violation. So
Yeah,
probably you
yeah.
can use this name until our legal team reach out to you. So
Well,
probably,
there could be trademark issues, yes, in some
yeah.
cases, yes.
But this is not like up to our moderators team to check everything outside of the marketplace.
That's true.
Actually, I like the wording IntelliJ based. This is allowed because it implies that this is plugin that will work on IntelliJ based IDEs. This is acceptable.
Yeah.
But when you say IntelliJ plugin or JetBrains plugin, it make an impression like this is something developed by IntelliJ or developed by
Exactly.
JetBrains. That's the issue.
Okay, and we have one more question. Are plugins uploaded in the beta channel only visible in EAP versions of the IDE? And can we explain the beta and alpha process?
Okay, I can start. By uploading a plugin version in the beta channel, it will be visible only if you add a custom repository with beta details. So it's not like EAP versions. I don't know if we can show it right now, but the process. Okay, let's switch back to the presentation or to the browser page. Yeah. For example, you're going to upload a plugin on the website or via API. You always can specify the channel. And you, for example, can specify beta or alpha channel, but the need for releasing something under beta or alpha channel is totally up to you, because most likely the developer who is going to release something under alpha or beta, they understand why they need so. Because, for example, they have a few members who will test it out, or they have some specific users who are open to check out like these versions and report potential problems and stuff like that. So for such users, you can upload plugin updates a bit earlier than, for example, for everyone else. And in order for your users, for this specific group of people to get these updates, they will need to add the name of plugin repository in the IDE settings. It's under settings, plugins, and there is like a settings icon and manage plugin repositories, and they will add there. But we have it covered in our documentation, like how to publish a plugin or plugin update and how users can get this plugin update. So yeah, check out this documentation if it still remains unclear, because it has like more presentation than I can show you right now.
Okay, I think we are done with all the questions. Thanks a lot to everyone for attending today.
Thank you.
Thank you a lot, Natalia, for giving us the great overview of what happens behind the scenes. I think it's quite interesting for all the plugin authors to see what is going on and what technology and tools we use there. And yeah, we hope to see you for the next episode of Busy Plugin Developers, probably next year. And until then, happy developing and see you on Marketplace.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.